You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, I've got your early edition spoilers for January 6th through the 10th. EJ and Rafe are conspiring and Cat Greene is back. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, please click that subscribe button. And as we always do on early edition day, we start with what is happening the rest of this week to set up the spoilers for next week. So on Thursday, January 2nd, we have got EJ still annoyed that Gabi is at the party at his house and he has to look at her, especially since she is being so overtly flirtatious and out there with JJ. But EJ is enjoying Belle's company, and there is a whole lot of flirting going on between those two. At the end of Wednesday's episode, Chanel overheard Johnny and Joy, of course, talking and saying, oh, we can't let her find out what happened between us, because that's exactly what you should say when you're trying to keep a secret. So Chanel's going to bust in and confront Joy and Johnny. Joy is going to take off to leave them to talk alone. Chanel is going to demand that Johnny tell her every single thing that happened between him and Joy. She wants all the dirty, ugly, horrible details. And this is about to be the end of this marriage, at least for a hot minute. Joy is going to open up to Alex about Chanel catching them and reaming them out. And of course, you know, everybody knew this was going to come out. And I wonder if Johnny is going to finally admit to Chanel as well that he lied about Alex sleeping with Joy. We're going to get, you know, we had those hot midnight kisses already. We are going to see more canoodling. We're probably going to pick up again with a repeat of part of Wednesday's episode with Stephanie and Phillip kissing. It was so creepy when Phillip was keeping his eyes open, just making that icky eye contact with Alex, and Alex just, why would you watch that? Gabi and JJ are going to leave the party and head to her place after their big kiss. It's very weird with Jada and with Arnold, who is, you know, pretending to be Rafe, and he's making out with her so awkwardly. It's just a whole big messy thing. Then we're at Friday, January 3rd. Gabi and JJ are steaming things up. Looks like they went back to her place. And then her cousin Javi interrupts them, but I don't know if that's going to stop them for too long. Their romance is back on. Johnny really needs somebody to open up to now that Chanel has ripped him a new one, and I'm assuming she has walked out on him. And Johnny goes and he talks to Abe Carver about all of this. Meanwhile, Chanel, who is completely devastated, goes to see her mom Paulina about this latest marriage crisis. And, you know, Paulina didn't want Chanel to forgive him when he called her a cheating slut. And now that Chanel knows that her husband is the cheating slut, I think Paulina is going to advise her to just ditch him. Meanwhile, Alex and Joy hit the sheets after all the big drama at the party, but when they wake up in the morning, things are going to be pretty awkward. Then going into the week of January 6th through the 10th, we have got Rafe and EJ working together out of necessity to deal with this threat of Arnold. He has taken over Rafe's life, and interestingly, he's not even trying that hard to convince people, because Galen Gering said in an interview that he kind of low-key wants to get busted because Arnold just dislikes EJ and he thinks he can get an immunity deal by testifying against him. So he's been living down in Argentina all this time and he's frustrated, and it looks like that Arnold just really wants to mess up EJ's life. And it was EJ that actually dragged Rafe down into the secret rooms and stashed him. And I think he's going to realize that he needs somebody to work with him and Rafe's not a cop anymore, so there's that. So maybe those two can play Let's Make a Deal, because if Rafe doesn't make a deal to work with him, EJ could just leave him down there and just say, oh, well, I guess Arnold gets Jada. So they have leverage against each other. So Joy had that night with Alex after the party, and then the following week, Chanel is going to confront Joy and rage at her for all her lies. I mean, I hope Chanel can recognize that Joy had no idea who Johnny was, and he was just some guy with a sob story about his wife cheating. So, Joy's culpability for the one night stand isn't that great, but for all the lies she's told since then, I think that's more what's going to be upsetting Chanel. And then Joy is going to go to Alex again. He's going to comfort her, and these two are going to start having a little something, since Alex has completely given up on Stephanie at this point, because Phillip has managed to convince him that they are, on and everything's going great. Leo and Javi are actually going to reconcile next week, despite those past nasty accusations that Leo made, and despite Javi dating that creepy Carrie guy who is most likely the new lady whistleblower. Brady and Kristen are very intently blaming each other next week. They're going to figure out that Rachel Black is the one hate texting Ava Vitale. And I'm sure Brady blames Kristen, thinking that her evil is rubbing off on their daughter. And of course, Kristen is going to blame Brady for not trying harder to put their family back together so that Rachel wouldn't feel like she had to go to these lengths. Tate and Brady are on the same page and are standing firm. It sounds like they do not like Amy Choi's ultimatum that Tate has to marry Sophia. Next week, Holly runs into Sophia and she gives her an update on her mom, Amy's demand that she and Tate have this baby, and that Sophia and Tate have to get married. And of course, that's going to drive a wedge deeper between Holly and Tate, and that's going to continue for a while. Phillip and Xander are back to bickering. I'm guessing it's something at Titan. And Sarah is warning Xander that he'd better stay on the right side of the law. No more pulling out a gun and threatening to kill your half-brother, awkward stuff like that. So to some extent, he's going to have to deal with what Phillip's doing and find another way to cope with it than turning to violence. And Cat Greene is back in Salem by the week of January 6th, and she is opening up to Marlena. So I wonder if that's going to be some official therapy or something like that. I definitely think she needs one. She's got mommy issues, daddy issues, Clyde issues, pretending to be someone's dead wife issues. Lots of good stuff.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.